Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Zido here. Today we have a product that is quite special. It's safe, reliable, and extremely budget friendly. As you know, the last time I talked about the Crimson Remains, a speed clothes pad with glass like view, premium, thin, and light. Well, today we are exploring another speed clothes pad. Even though it is cheaper, its premium quality is not far behind at all. This is the latest ultra speed mousepad from TalonGames, a brand from Japan. And you guys already know how good Japanese quality is. TalonGames has a solid track record with a high quality mouse fit. Now the name of this mousepad is TalonGames Kaminari. I should also mention that Fantech they also has a high-end lineup called the Motion Pad, featuring 5 lines from slower than the Jupiter Pro to faster than the Rainamid. And the fastest pad is also named Kaminari, which is currently waiting for me to review. Now I'm gonna go and give you guys a quick sneak peek of the pad for a later video. Now this is the Kaminari from Fantech. Here is the brand of it, Motion Pad. And yeah, a pretty solid pad, but I'll give you guys an in-depth review later. Alright, now so today we're going to talk more about TalonGames Kaminari. Let's roll the intro. First, let's talk about the packaging. It comes rolled in a long rectangular box. Usually, this is where budget pads fail. But there is some legitimate black magic here. When you take the pad out and lay it on the desk, it spreads out perfectly flat with zero curling at the corner. This is truly surprising, given the price point and the rolled packaging. It's important to note that since I'm using the XL standard size for 90 by 420mm, it's packed in that long rectangular box. If you go with the smaller 330mm, they ship it flat packed. Next up is the stitching. It's a low profile design, which is the gold standard these days. But honestly, I have to give you my real feedback. The stitching is incredibly soft and smooth. It never irritates your arm and looks beautiful. And it doesn't feel like a cheap pad at all. In fact, I'll say the stitching here is even more comfortable than the Crimson Remains or even Artisan. It is the definition of true low profile stitching. It's also sitting much lower than the surface. This is easily the most comfortable stitching on a speed clothes pad I have ever used. I haven't tried the Infinity My Speed series yet, but I guarantee that for the price, the Kaminari is extremely worth it for a surface this soft. Now, the base is made of rubber, but not the cheap kind that gets sticky and melts onto your desk. This rubber feels dense and has good elasticity without being mushy. And let me tell you, it's extremely grippy. It doesn't move even a millimeter during my crazy flicks. Now, because it uses a rubber base, the thickness is 4mm. In 2026, 4mm isn't bad, but I think if it was 3mm to 3.5mm, it would be perfect. There isn't much sink, but if you use low profile fit like the TalonGames Kumo, which is S tier for speed, you might experience some bottoming out if you apply too much pressure. And if you use high profile fit, then you're fine. The brand also mentions is a dent resistant for precise control when digging the mouse in, but if you are a gorilla who digs the mouse down extremely hard when panic aiming, you will scrape the shell. Now for the most important part, the surface. This is the most enjoyable speed clothes surface I have ever used. The Crimson Remains is great, but its surface isn't as skin friendly or plush as the Kaminari. As you know, I've used leaves for 10 to 11 years because my skin is hypersensitive. It gets red and itchy instantly, but on this pad, you honestly don't need a sleeve. It's just so smooth. Now, if you do use one, like my poster sleeve here, is highly compatible and doesn't fight the sleeve like an Artisan Zero. Here's a nerdy detail from the manufacturer. The glide speed of the x-axis is actually faster than the y-axis. Now, this is a brilliant technical choice because in the high-level gaming, a faster x-axis allows for rapid horizontal tracking and those wide explosive flicks. The slightly more controlled y-axis gives you vertical stability, helping you stay locked in and preventing your aim from floating up or down during intense fights. It's a subtle mechanical advantage that balances extreme speed with functional control. Now, looking at the speed chart, Kaminari is the fastest and smoothest in their lineup. Static friction is unbelievably low, even lower than an Artisan rated mid. Dynamic friction is also low, but buttery smooth. Also, this pad gives different feedback based on your skate. With the TalonGames Kumo here of my version is the 6mm. It has 9/10 smoothness, 10/10 speed. For the Jade skate, I believe it's this one, they have a 9/10 speed, but 7.5/10 smoothness because it picks up the texture, making it feel slightly grainy. For the Unusual Way Sports Magic Ice, it has 10/10 smoothness, 9/10 speed. I tested some control feats like the X-Ray Pad Unite Ultra, but they felt slower than I expected and weren't as smooth, which was quite annoying for my taste. Now, the brand markets this for low-TTK games like Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, and Apex Legends. In Marvel Rivals, I actually outperformed my Crimson Remans while playing Hawkeye and Punisher. However, the tactical FPS like Valorant, I still prefer the Crimson Remans. It's not about speed, but that like last stop like close feeling I mentioned before. The Kaminari is too smooth for tactical FPS. It lacks that kind of locked-in feeling for angle holding or micro flicking. The surface is also water resistant and the graphic print is crystal clear. I usually hate goon graphics that focus only on boobs. I'm a man of culture. I prefer ass. Now the graphics on the Kaminari are tasteful and makes me very satisfied. My girlfriend knows my taste, so she doesn't mind. The color palette is harmoniously balanced with cyan, white, black, and a bit of red and yellow. Since Kaminari means lightning, the lightning details look powerful. I love lightning superpower, so I might be slightly biased, but the coincidence of the name, the graphics, the ass, and the speed surface just hits all my personal preferences perfectly. Now, the only downsides are the 4mm thickness and the rolled packaging. But overall, this is the best mousepad I have bought in 2026. Well, for now, I can see myself manning this longer than the Crimson because the P over P is too good, price over performance. Plus, this isn't a limited drop. I feel safe knowing that if I accidentally damage this pad, I can easily buy a replacement. And that's it for my TalonGames Kaminari review. Thanks for watching. Remember to stay hydrated, keep warm, and keep your aim steady. Zido's out. Peace.